You have never seen this image with your own eyes. You've never been up there and seen all the continents lined up like that according to the azimuthal equidistant projection. You haven't been up there and touched the dome or firmament personally. Have you been all the way around that ice wall to make sure that it truly is surrounding us? This could be 3 incorrect things that we're looking at. None of us have ever experienced this. This is something that was given to us. Just like this map, it was given to us. Is it 100% correct? In my opinion, no. Is it 100% incorrect? In my opinion, no. To what degree is this map correct? I don't know. But what I can tell you is this. There are many flat earthers out there who do not accept the AE map as their go-to map of the flat earth, and they're actually putting in their own time and effort to make their own map. Like this one right here. This guy made his own map because the flight path from Johannesburg to Sydney didn't suit his view of what the flat earth should look like. He thought that the flat earth map, as given to us by the azimuthal equidistant projection, wasn't quite correct as far as some of the flight patterns, and if he was to assume these flights are actually happening, he decided to make his own map where these flights and flight times would actually make more sense. And so he moved around some of the continents, added a little ice on the ice wall, tightened things up, and voila, he came up with his own map of the flat earth. It's similar to the azimuthal equidistant projection, but it's different. So there are people out there doing their damnedest to try and come up with other maps besides the most popular one. Here's another one you might have seen. They take the outer perimeter of what would be Antarctica on the globe and they put it as the ice wall. So instead of a circular ice wall, you have the shape of what would be Antarctica on a globe as your ice wall. Now when you stack these different maps side by side, you can see they are much different. So there are people out there who absolutely do not agree with the AE map whatsoever. Some people are completely ditching the circular concept altogether and going with other shapes such as diamonds and rectangles and squares. I've come across many different flat earth maps, so I find it highly comedic when someone comes out and thinks that they've debunked the flat earth because they show that 1 or 2 distances on this projection are incorrect. So for you new flat earthers who just are coming into the flat earth now, the Gleason's map or the azimuthal equidistant projection, this popular image of the flat earth, it isn't the go-to end-all be-all image of the flat earth that you have to stick by. Alright, so we've all seen images of other earth ponds across a supposed infinite plane. We've all seen the image of a dome over the top of a AE map with an ice wall. And the argument I've noticed that's been springing up within the flat earth group is this open versus closed, infinite land versus dome or firmament argument. And I'm noticing that there's kind of a rift developing lately between flat earthers, and there are flat earthers choosing one side or another. And some people are even getting mad at each other like, "What? You don't think it's a dome? Well, if you don't think it's a dome, we can't be friends anymore." Or, "Man, if you don't think it's an infinite plane, then we just aren't cool anymore, bro." Let's just remember, we can't be certain it's one way or the other. And that's why I'm the guy that falls right in the middle. I'll tell you, hey, it could be an infinite plane. There could be a dome or firmament. There could be neither. There could be both. Hell, take the firmament on the right, make it bigger, and stick it over the top of the plane on the left. Voila, now you got other worlds and you got a big, huge, giant firmament, like a 2-in-1 combo. See? I'm always thinking. Gotta use that imagination. You have to use your own imagination as to what the world might be because we were lied to about what it is. So you can gladly accept what others imagine it to be, or you can use your own imagination. And that's what I want to do today in this video, is just use my own imagination and kind of go off on some of these images that we've been looking at, but maybe add a little bit to it, or take a little bit away, combine a few things, right? The way I look at it is, if you can dream it, if you can think of it, then maybe it's possible, right? Maybe something you come up with off the top of your head is closer to reality than the deceptions we're being shown. The way I also look at it is, my imagination isn't trying to deceive me. So with that said, let's carry on. Oh, and also, this is a disclaimer right now. My imagination and me showing you images of other things that I think it could be does not mean I believe that this is a new model of the flat earth, and I'm not trying to push any new models or tell anybody that they should subscribe to my model. This is just me speculating on other things that it could be other than these popular things that were being shown. So once again, this is speculation. I'm not telling you that this is exactly what I think it is. This is just something that it could be besides what we're shown all the time in most popular flat earth videos. Okay, so with that said, let's get to it. We are surrounded by an ice wall 360 degrees around. Well, what if we aren't? What if we aren't surrounded by an ice wall? Yeah, I've seen pictures of ice. But what if there's only some ice and more water? Now I know what you're thinking. Wow, Jake, your graphic artistry is awesome. Thank you, I know. But seriously, what if there's some geothermal activity going on underneath the ice out there, and then there's some more habitable land? What if there are channels and pathways that we can take that take us somewhere else so we aren't surrounded by ice? What if there are channels and pathways so instead of this image of ice and then you have to go get up on top of ice and use snowcats and traverse across ice, what if there is rivers and channels possibly, and you could travel between the worlds in little crevices? Then you wouldn't be completely surrounded by an ice wall if there was a way out. Maybe there is somewhere else to go. We don't know. That's what's fun about imagining. And then, of course, the possibility of there being an alien world next door, but what if we can't get to it because we're in a dome or there's a firmament? What if the alien world next door is also in a dome or a firmament? Yeah, imagine more than one dome or more than one firmament. Imagine them all lined up, if you will. Like you could line up a bunch of domes and firmaments like an egg carton. Yeah, a bunch of domes all lined up together. Hell, there could be thousands of them. Millions of them. Could you imagine like a dome matrix? Hell, if you can imagine it, it could be possible. Now, just as easily as there being multiple domes or firmaments, what if the firmament is a ceiling? What if the walls extend for an undetermined distance, and there is indeed some sort of roof or barrier above, but the walls go for an undetermined length, so we don't know how far it stretches. So there very well could be like a 2-in-1 combo. There is a firmament and an infinite plane that stretches for an undetermined amount of space. And when you bring up alien worlds, things can get really interesting because then you have to bring up the possibility of aliens or extraterrestrials. Now, would these extraterrestrials or aliens, would they look like us? Would they be people like us? Or would they be like typical little green men or little gray aliens? Would they be friendly? Would we get along with the aliens? Would they be nice to us? Or would the aliens be mean and want to kill us or control us? This is a very interesting topic to bring up because then, of course, you have to wonder if aliens have their own version of a creator. If there is aliens. And if they do have their own version of a creator, how is that going to clash with the religious folks who have their own version of a creator here on Earth? So then we're left to wonder, is there only one creator? Is there multiple creators? If these aliens were to have a different version of a creator, would they just be wrong? Would we have to teach them about the true creator? Or could we get along and have them maybe teach us about some other creator? This is when folks really start to get pissed off and say, Jake, aliens are demons. Some folks will straight up say that. Aliens are demons. They're from the devil and Satan. I personally don't know if there is aliens. I've seen some weird things flying around in the sky. Before I ever found out about FlatEarth, I've seen some weird things in the sky that I would consider UFOs. Have I ever seen an alien? No. But I have seen some weird things flying in the sky. And many people have seen weird things flying in the sky. Many of my friends who I've talked to, family members, none of them have seen aliens. So I used to, as a heliocentric believer, believe that there had to be aliens because the universe, I thought at the time, was infinite as far as outer space, and there were infinite amount of planets and infinite amount of galaxies, so therefore there had to be infinite possibilities of there being life like on planet Earth. And so I thought, you know, if you didn't believe that there was aliens out there, that you were stupid. So I thought like aliens were 100% back when I used to believe in the heliocentric model. Since finding about the geocentric model and ditching the heliocentric model, now I can say maybe there's aliens, but also maybe there's not. Whereas before I had to say there absolutely was aliens because the universe was infinite. As a geocentric subscriber, I don't want to say believer, as a geocentric subscriber, there could be just this one world and absolutely no aliens or extraterrestrials. There could be other humans or extraterrestrials on other places, but they don't know about us and we don't know about them. So I guess you could consider those alien humans, but maybe they don't look different than us. What I'm saying is my version of aliens I used to have in my head don't match what I would have in my head now. So in my opinion, I don't think there are weird looking, crazy aliens that look absolutely nothing like us like Hollywood portrays. I think if there are other life forms, they would be closer looking to people or other animals and creatures. And who's to even say there are any other people? There might be other worlds, but then there's only plants and animals on those other worlds, and we might be the only people, and maybe these other worlds are uninhabited. You know, the possibilities are endless, and I like to just keep my imagination flowing because nobody's proved any of these things to me beyond a shadow of a doubt. The only thing proven to me so far is that the Earth is motionless and that there's no curvature. So whether or not there's a dome, a firmament, how far it stretches, other worlds, other humans, aliens, whether or not the aliens can get here or not, whether or not the aliens are working with the Illuminati and trading technology that we don't know about, I have no idea. I just like to entertain all these possibilities because being closed-minded to any of these possibilities can close you away from a little piece of the truth, possibly. And like I said, there are people out there who are dead set on one model. They're like, Jake, the Bible says there's a dome, so that means there's a dome. So don't talk about infinite land. Well, the Bible doesn't say there's a dome. It says firmament. And as we discussed earlier, we don't know how far the firmament stretches. The Bible doesn't say that it's an AE map and an ice wall and a firmament dome that goes straight over the top and connects to the ice. You can't find that passage. So we don't know for sure if this firmament is even touching ice. Hell, it could be touching water, like in the movie Truman Show when Jim Carrey's boat whacks into the wall. So maybe there's a barrier that touches water and not ice. We really have no idea. And that's where I stand. I stand in the I don't know camp. Alright, let's take another look at this multiple worlds theory, if you will. Let's say you were to get up on this ice and start heading in a direction. What is going to light your path on the ice? How are you going to be able to see? In a lot of these images of an ice wall, it's daylight. But if you were to get up there and start traveling, wouldn't you be traveling away from your circular sun in your little pond? At that point, wouldn't you be traveling straight into darkness? That would be pretty scary, don't you think, to go straight into darkness and have to travel across treacherous ice with crevices and canyons that could drop miles, and they could be miles across, like as big as the Grand Canyon, some of these crevices in the ice, and you have to traverse this at night somehow? That would mean the only way to do it would be like through flight, and then you would need, some sort of unlimited fuel capabilities, like being able to suck in air and turn it into fuel or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how, if you can't see, if you get away from the sun and at some point you can't see, I don't know how you would be able to travel unless you could see another light source out there. Like if there was another sun and you could see it as a pinprick of light, and then as the closer you got to it, it would get brighter and brighter, and then boom, you would end up at another Earth pond. Maybe that's how it works. But this is all based on the assumption that there are circular suns going around circular Earth ponds. You know, I'm not 100% sold on the fact that there's just one sun going around in a circle at each pond, including our own, if it even is a pond. So with that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I want to finish up my grand finale. I want to finish with part of my imagination where I'm going to go a bit wild here, and I don't want anyone to think that this is some new wacky model I'm pushing. So I'm going to throw the disclaimer out one more time. I'm not pushing any new crazy wacky model. This is just something I like to think about on my own time. I like to come up with my own ideas different than what we always see. And I also talk to other flat earthers about these ideas, and we bounce different ideas off each other. And so to close this video, I wanted to show you guys something the sun could do besides go around in a circle like we've been handed. So I was talking to a flat earther friend of mine named Bruce, and he actually took this old image of the flat earth inside of a firmament, and he doctored it up, and he showed me his idea of an alternate path for the sun. Now, when Bruce showed this to me, I thought it was really interesting because in this model, the sun actually sets and rises. Now, I came up with the term sun hole. It's like a butthole, but it's a sun hole. It would be basically where the sun goes down into or rises out of. So this was Bruce's concept, where the sun actually sets in the west and rises in the east. And it goes down underground, and it would have to haul ass when it sets in the west, and quickly haul ass, and then pop up over in the east, right? So now if someone says, hey, how does the sunrise and sunset work on a flat earth? You would just say, it rises and it sets. So I thought this was a pretty interesting concept when Bruce first showed this to me. And by Bruce bouncing this idea off me, I was then able to come up with my own idea. Taking Bruce's idea, I then added a second sun to the mix and came up with this. Much like Bruce's model, if you add a second sun to the mix, now you don't have to have one sun hauling ass underground. You could have one sun above the earth and then one sun below the earth, creating heat and lava and geothermal activity possibly. So as one sun sets in the west, the other sun would systematically rise from the east. And then these sun holes, you could also go off and say that hollow earth theory could be explained by these holes where the sun goes down into. So now you get flat earth and hollow earth all mixed into one. See how fun it is to use your imagination and speculate? So I hope this video has been fun. Please like and share this video and leave comments down below whether you agree or disagree. Tell me about it. And as always, make sure you're subbed to my channel. YouTube has been removing subs without their permission, so please, please, please make sure you're still subbed to this channel. Ring the bell, click the thumbs up, click the sub, share the video. Have a great day. This is the Flat Earth Asshole signing out. Peace!